Welcome back to the Rhode Island Department of Education's Science of Reading and Structured Literacy Awareness courses. Course 1 provided an overview of the science of reading and structured literacy. It introduced research-validated frameworks of reading, including the simple view of reading, which states that reading comprehension is not a skill to be taught in isolation, but a product of strong word recognition and language comprehension. When either aspect of reading is weakened, so is comprehension. In Course 2, we focused on the sub-skills of word recognition, including phonemic awareness, the awareness of the smallest units of speech in a word, and phonics, practicing attaching those speech sounds to the corresponding letter or letters that represent that sound. We also learned about decoding, spelling, and morphology. When using a structured literacy approach across all tiers of instruction, these subskills are sufficiently developed to connect the orthographic and the phonological processors in order to be able to decode words, practice to automaticity, and eventually read words instantly, as if by sight. We learned that the research-based definition of a sight word is different than the instructional approach of asking students to memorize whole words, which research shows is a less effective strategy and can even get in the way of proficient reading. We learned how to apply decoding skills to regular and irregularly spelled words by attending to the phonetically regular parts of words, using a method such as the heartword approach. We also practiced segmenting words into phonemes and encouraged educators across all grades and content areas to practice this skill with students at any age, especially those who may not have had prior explicit instruction or those who utilize skipping or guessing strategies that may have developed when learning through a typical literacy approach. Finally, we studied the reciprocal nature of decoding and encoding, or spelling. Explicitly learning and understanding the spelling of a word strengthens the visual word form area of the brain, making it easier for a student to read that word accurately and fluently. We found that one way for all educators to support students' spelling is to become familiar with the spelling rules and generalizations of the English language, so they might then pass along this helpful knowledge to their students in order to demystify our language. Furthermore, we began to understand the power of morphology, or the study of the smallest units of meaning within a word. When students are introduced to these meaningful word parts, it supports their understanding of the word's spelling, pronunciation, and meaning. And it empowers students to have an intimate knowledge of a variety of high-level words, in turn supporting their reading comprehension, while also helping students feel successful and smart. Through Course 1, we also offered tools such as the Ride Games document, the student checklist, phonogram cards, and morphology resources to use across school settings to support positive word reading and spelling outcomes. Overall, we found that using explicit, systematic instruction to develop accurate word recognition skills is beneficial for all, essential to many, and crucial for students who exhibit weaknesses in phonological processing, such as students with dyslexia. It's now time to reflect back on the simple view of reading, to remind ourselves that the science of reading is much more than just word recognition. In fact, we are going to spend the next 3 courses focusing on that equally essential component of reading, language comprehension. In this course, Course 3, we will learn of the complexity of what goes into reading comprehension by looking inside the mind of a reader, and we will begin to unbraid the reading rope to tackle the research behind the subskills of language comprehension. We will answer 3 critical questions. Why is reading comprehension so complex? What is the role of background knowledge in comprehension? And why is vocabulary essential to comprehending grade-level text? We will continue to offer examples and resources for how to develop these pertinent skills in your setting. Let's begin.